Okay. So now you have to print sum of all diagonal elements. I'm saying about the principal diagonal only, right? I'm saying about the principal diagonal only, not the secondary diagonal. And here also one more thing, for the sake of simplicity, I have taken that we have to take only square matrix, right? We have to take only square matrix, not for rectangular matrix. So I have written here printf enter same number of rows and columns, right? Even it is not essential, I should enter only one thing and second thing will be always running in the same way. So I and j both are same because this is a square matrix, but still I have taken them different in a different variables, but still there is no problem. So first thing is to enter dimension. This is done over here, right? Then after that, rows are being entered, columns are being entered accordingly, and within row we have column blue. Then scanf will run and we will enter all the elements of array, right? So now here I have given two logics for the same, but here print I'll use first obvious logic, then we will go for optimal logic, right? So this is the obvious logic. First of all, you should know how we can implement this thing, how we can perform this thing. So finding sum of diagonal elements, suppose this is an array, suppose this is an array, right? Suppose this is an array, okay? So you can see within that array, or instead of writing here this thing, I can even tell you on MS Word that file I have already shared with you. That thing I can write that I can utilize over here for square matrix, right? So suppose there is a square matrix. So suppose this is a square matrix, right? I have taken this one. Suppose this is my square matrix and I want to find sum of diagonal elements, all the diagonal elements, right? So this thing I'll discuss later on. First we will go through the diagonal elements. So sum of, screen is not visible, please tell me immediately, otherwise continue with the same. Sum of diagonals of a matrix, and that matrix is square matrix. Square matrix means rows and columns are same. Square matrix means rows and columns are same. Okay. So for that particular part, I have written. I have used, suppose, this matrix. In this matrix, actually, uh, they are not same, right? So I have to make it square matrix. So how to make it square matrix? I will remove that column. Now it is a square matrix and the size is 3 cross 3. So what elements you want to sum like this? So suppose I want to find sum of all the elements. Then what will happen? If I want to find sum of all the elements, then simple one for loop will run, and simple for loop will run and we will add all the elements, right? So what we have to do with that thing, first we will see that thing. For this one, we want to add here, this is the array. So sum of diagonal elements we want to find. For finding sum of all elements, for finding sum of all elements, what logic we have to apply here? We have to write both the for loops to access each and every element, and similarly take take one sum variable initialized with 0. So sum is equal to 0 we will write initially. Then we will write two for loops. I will copy that thing also from here. That thing I will copy from this place. For 2D array actually I am doing, right? So here I have copied both the loop structures. So here actually rows are also 3 and columns are also 3. For this square matrix I'm finding sum of all elements only, not diagonal elements, all the elements. So here in place of this printf, what I have to write, I have to write sum is equal to, right, sum plus sum is equal to sum plus aij. So sum is initially 0. Within main you can write this code. Whenever you have already entered your all the elements of your matrix, then you have to follow this thing, right? So all the elements are there here. Ij, whenever I0 J0, you are accessing first element, then second element, third element, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, right? In this way, row wise you are accessing all the elements by this organization, right? So when I will be 0, J will be 0, first element will be summed up, right? So suppose this is the numerical example. I will take that numerical part also from this place and try to find that result. Suppose this is the another matrix that I want to utilize over here, and also remove that one. So now my elements are, for I will access A00. So this one will be used, right, added with sum. So sum will be now 1. Then loop will go ahead. In J loop will go ahead. Then I will access second element because 0, 1, right? J will be 0, 1 and added with the previous sum. So 1 plus 2 it will be, then 3 it will be added. So in the same way as I have done in one dimensional array, two dimensional array also, each and every element will be accessed one by one and sum will be created, right? So we will move in row major order. First this element will be summed up, then this element, then this element. Then after that, I'll start with the second row and this element, this element, this element, entire. Then row will be changed, this element, right? So all these things will be summed up. Even this printf is also not essential over here because I'm only finding that sum, not printing anything. So this printf is not required. /n is not required. So in this way, I'll find summation of all the elements, right? Now to find these things, now how we have to go? So finding this thing that is only for diagonal elements. So you can see for diagonal elements, we have to sum this 1 with 6 with 8, right? 6 plus 1, 7 plus 8, 15. It will be 15, right? So you can see dimension of these elements. So this is actually A00. This is 6 is A11 and this 8 is A22. So in all these three elements, you can see that I and J values are equal. That means among all the elements, among all the 9 elements given over here, only diagonal elements we can access if we apply one condition. So where we have to apply that condition? Within that summation part, right? If you will not understand, please immediately inform me and I'll make it correct and more explanation will be there, right? So I am accessing here all the elements. Instead of all the elements, if I want to access only diagonal elements, then I have to write here if I is equal to j, then only I will sum, right? Whenever whatever value of I you have taken and going inside its body, with whatever value of j you are going to take and going inside the body of j ultimately, so your element will be aij, right? And whenever I and j are same, then only I will apply sum, right? So within this if condition, my sum is attached. So sum will be done only with elements whose I and j values are same, right? So if I and j values are same, then those elements are diagonal elements, and in this way we can find sum of all the diagonal elements, and that is principal diagonal only. Anybody has any doubt can ask me now, and that will be printed after this. Result will be printed, and that is complete. Okay, now I'll show you that same program. There is one more way to do this thing. Instead of using two loops, I can do it with one loop only, right? I can use only one loop, either I loop or j loop. Then I will write here aii or ajj. because this is my square matrix. I and j are same. So now this is more efficient code, more that we can say optimal code, right? So optimal code will be there so when we will use only one loop. So in your program, suppose one common problem is given to 2 or 3 students and everybody has solved it. Now the best solution will be considered uh, on the basis of how much time your CPU was busy in your code, right? So if you have a logic having nesting of loops, right? Definitely, nesting of loop will consume more time. If there is only one loop, then definitely comparatively it will take less number of time because in this case actually I loop is running 3 times and j loop is running 3 times. So I am actually executing this sum or I am executing this body of for loop how many times? 9 times. 3 into 3. Because for once I will run, J will run 3 times. For second time I will run, J will run again 3 times. For third time I will run, J will run again 3 times. Right? So every time whenever I is incrementing, J is also running. So you can see how many times this body of J loop is running 9 times. Right? And suppose I have written here this code in this manner, where I have written here. Suppose I have removed this one. And here I have written this. If I is equal to j, sum is equal to aii. So here this condition is also not essential because I have written here only. So now by this also I can find summation of diagonal elements. Are you getting my point over here? Anybody has any doubt? So this is actually optimal solution and the best one also. Optimal solution. Right? This is optimal solution for finding sum of diagonal elements. This is obvious solution and this is optimal solution. So I must write here this is obvious solution. Obvious solution. And this is optimal solution. Right? This is obvious solution and this is optimal solution. So optimal solution is always demanded. Whenever you have made any kind of program, you should try to optimize it in this way. If you are using nesting of loops and you are using suppose 3 loops, right? One loop inside another loop is there, and then again inside outer loop another loop is there. So nesting of loops should be reduced as far as possible. Then your code will be preferred in competitive programming and all these things, right? Everybody is getting that point. So now in this case, this summation logic is running how many times? Only n times. Because suppose I is going to suppose 3 times, then it will be run 3 times. If I is suppose 4, then it will run 4 times. So it will run actually in general n times. But here, if I is running n times and j is also running n times, so now this code is actually running how many times? N into n square times. So n square will be a large time complexity or time unit than n times, right? So obviously this one is preferred. Anybody has any doubt, you can ask me anytime. Unmute and ask. Have you obtained this both logics, right? So in your exams, AKTU or anywhere, you can write this obvious solution or optimal solution. Both are correct, but for your competitive programming, you should go for this one. Okay. Okay. Now see the program. So I am here looking for obvious solution first. So here rows and columns are written. If rows equal to columns, then sum is equal to sum, right? So I'll execute this. There is something. There is something missing, I think so. See what is missing over here. See in this program. Find error. Int main. This is this scanf. All these things. Rows, columns. Right. Ampersand I, ampersand J. Then yes.
screen.
The screen is not sharing.
Acha, acha, okay. Screen is not sharing, and I have also obtained that point. Okay, I'll share first screen. Okay. This is the case, right? So actually here I have to comment up to this point only. Only this point I should comment, right? Then only this printf result will be there, and it will be printed in this way. So now suppose I am executing again. So here again it is saying some error. Sum has been declared earlier. Sum is equal to 0. I, J, rows, columns, scanf, percent D, and these things are there. Now can you see where is any kind of error? This code is for entering elements. This code is for summation. So I don't think any kind of error is directly visible. Some loop is right. Some loop is missing, right? Here there are first loop, second loop entry, then third loop. Here semicolon curly phrase is missing, right? This was missing, I think so. Let me do it. Whenever we try to modify something, some errors may appear in this way, and we will whenever we'll do something from scratch, errors will never appear. So it is asking me to enter columns, right? So suppose I have entered here 3, so it will ask me to enter all the values that I want to enter over here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? Okay, in the correct way I have to write this first. I'm executing it again. Columns I have entered 3, and the rows also it is asking because scanf is running 2 times, even it is not required. Then elements are now asked. This one. Sum of diagonal elements is 15 because 3 cross 3, so 1 2 3, then 4 5 6, then 7 8 9, right? So in this way 1 5 and 9
Sir,
will be.
output screen is not
Sir,
visible.
output screen is
Oh,
not shared.
okay, output screen. This is the output, right? It is asking for rows and columns, so I have entered rows and columns. So actually it is not showing in a form of matrix, so you can show it also. This is not a difficult task. So because this is a 3 cross 3 matrix, you can assume here that 1 2 3 is first row, 4 5 6 is second row, 7 8 9 is third row, right? So 1 is one diagonal, 5 is in another diagonal, and 9 is another diagonal element, right? So 1 5 9 are the diagonal elements. 5 plus 1 6 plus 9 15. So the result is there. Okay. Now the same code I am going to run for that purpose, second optimal way. This was the obvious way, right? So now I'm going to execute it in optimal way. So I'll uncomment this part and comment that previous part so that I can now execute only this one, right? Okay, again I'll execute it. I'm again sharing it, whether it is shown or not. Enter same number of rows and columns. Again, I have entered here 3, 3. Then it is asking me to enter values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Again 15. So in both way, I have got same answer. Anybody has any doubt? Please ask now. In both way, I have got same logic, same kind of result. Logic was different. In previous way, I have done this using obvious way, that is using all both the loops, I loop and J loop, and there was a nesting also that I have made comment at present, right? So program and output both are visible to all of you. So this is nice logic, right? Better logic where I have used only one for loop. Anybody has any doubt? You can ask me anytime. Now, is it okay to all of you? Okay, okay. That means there is no doubt. So now I am going to handle next problem, and that problem is related to next property of matrices, that is transpose. So transpose, we know that rows and columns are interchanged, right? So again, this is shared now. So transpose means what? Transpose means rows and columns are interchanged. So here, suppose this is my matrix. I'm going to make it different. Transpose finding, right? So suppose, for example, I have taken this. Now transpose, I have used here rectangular matrix, right? So this is suppose my matrix, and this is the transpose for the same. So you can see this first row has become first column. This is the resultant matrix, right? This is first column. Second row, 5, 6, 7, 8 has become second column, 5, 6, 7, 8. And third row, 9, 7, 8, 9 has become third column. So this is the transpose. This is the transpose. I made it red. This is original matrix and this is the transpose of this. Okay. Original matrix and this is transpose matrix. This is transpose matrix of the same. So how we can understand now what is the logic of doing this thing? Actually, this can be also done by various ways, but I am doing here one way, that is rows and columns are actually interchanged. But we can see what is the output now. Original matrix was of which size? Original matrix of what? Actually 3 cross 4, right? Matrix size 3 cross 4. I can write here size was 3 cross 4. And what about transpose matrix? Transpose matrix is 4 cross 3, right? Transpose matrix, I can write here size is 4 cross 3, right? So that same thing is made over here also, right? So now you can see that in transpose matrix, if I want to relate what is the value of each dimension according to the original matrix, then I have found this logic. So my B00, first element of my transpose matrix, is same as my original matrix, that is A00. Then my second element B01 is actually 5. But in original matrix, 5 was at A10, right? So B01 is actually A10, right? Then B02 is actually A20. In the same way, if I'll generalize it, then I can say that my general element in B matrix, that is Bij, can be same as Aji, right? This is the easiest way to represent any element. Suppose you are looking at this element B31. B31 is what? This is 8. And what was its representation in A matrix, right? This one is the representation over A matrix. 8. Here it is. Sorry, this one is this was the 8 actually, right? So this is actually second row last element. This is second column last element. So this is 8. Actually, we have to change this. Otherwise, there are 2 8. So this is actually this 18. Suppose I am talking about 18. So 18 is actually this B31, and here it is 18 is actually B13. Sorry, A13. It is A13, and here it is B31. So you can see that these dimensions are interchanged, and we have got transpose, right? So to apply same thing, we can see it in our program. This is the program that I am sharing you soon. If you are not visible, it is not visible. It is visible now. Suppose I have two matrices. One is ARR, is the original one, ARR1 is the transposed of ARR, right? And this is not compulsory that we should always go for square matrix to be transposed. No, it can be a rectangular matrix in which row and columns are different. That can be also done, right? So here we have entered first matrix and we have printed that matrix also. What we have entered, this is the original matrix. Now to find the transpose, we have to do in this way. So can you see this dimensions? This I loop is running n1 times and j loop is running n2 times. So original matrix was of which size? N1 cross n2, and transpose matrix will be of size n2 cross n1. So n1 cross n2 was the original matrix, right? And original matrix elements are on right hand side of equal to. So according to this right hand side of equal to, we have to write these loops: 0 to n1 I, 0 to n2 j. So each and every element of ARR will be accessed and that will be assigned to ARR1 ji, right? ARR1 ji. So this matrix has been generated and this matrix will be of which dimension? N2 cross n1. So to show this transpose matrix as a result, we have to write this in this way, right? This slash n can be written either before j loop or after j loop. It is immaterial. It is always creating a next line. But you can see that if you are getting confused, I can remove this from this place. So this is again, right? So I can write over here. Okay, so this is the n2 cross n1 transpose matrix. So I'll execute this. Size of matrix it is asking for, suppose 3 space 2. So I have given a 3 cross 2 matrix. So I want
Sir, output screen is not visible.
Okay, output screen. Okay, now it is visible. I have given original
Yes,
matrix
sir.
as size 3 cross 2. Now I have to enter values. So I have to give here 6 values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 values I have given. This is my original matrix now. 3 cross 2, 3 rows and 2 columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my original matrix. And this is my transpose matrix. Actually, this is not showing properly because in transpose matrix, I have written this and slash n must be here also. Now it will be okay. And from this place also, I must remove this in this way. So again, I am showing you outputs for the same after few changes. And I'm sharing this again so that you should see it, right? Program as well as output both should be visible. So I have given here again, suppose 3 space 2, right? Size of the matrix 3 cross 2. Now values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 elements are there. So this is the original matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 3 cross 2. 3 rows are there. 2 columns are there. In transpose, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the rows are converted to columns. And your output matrix is of what size? 3 cross 2. Okay. Anybody has any doubt regarding this transpose? Another logic is we can swap each and every element, but that logic has some restriction also. Anybody can tell me what will be the restriction if I will swap using swap logic? Here I am actually interchanging the indexes, right? Ji and ij, they are interchanged immediately. It will be done. If I will use that swap logic, can you think how it will be done and what will be restriction? Using swap logic also can we use this rectangular matrix or it will be applied only on square matrix? So this for your as an assignment, do it at your own, right? I'm giving you this obvious logic. That is also a correct logic, but maybe it is only correct for square matrix. So go through with this and find it at your own, right? So these are two problems that I have discussed over here. Next problem may be for addition of two-dimensional arrays. So addition I am not showing over here because addition is quite simple. I will go directly to the multiplication. But here addition is being shown in my notes, so I am sharing it that from that place only. So addition of two matrices. If you want to see this addition of two matrices means corresponding elements will be added. right? If you want to create a resultant matrix at Cij, then Cij will be equal to Aij plus Bij, and that two for loops will be there. So first matrix, and here dimensions will be same. A matrix dimension is same as B matrix dimension, then C matrix will also be obtained, right? If you will keep different dimensions, then different result will be there. And I have shown you, if you have initialize or a two-dimensional array with less number of values, then remaining values will be zeros. If you are entering through scanf in a 2D array, less number of elements, then remaining elements will be garbage elements, right? Remember this thing also. For initialization, computer fills all the vacant places with zero. If you are giving, suppose your size of 2D array is 3 cross 3, 9 elements must be there, and you have given only 5 while initializing entire array, right? So remaining 4 elements will be zeros. But whenever you are using through scanf, same thing will not be done. If you have applied that scanf within 2 for loops and you are running only for suppose 6 times, even it should run for 9 times for 9 elements, and you are running only for 6 times. So 3 elements will be garbage in case of scanf. So I am taking here that both the matrices are of the same size, and I have also taken here a square matrix. Even that rectangular matrix is also possible as per in mathematics you have done. So second matrix, first matrix has been entered, then second matrix has been entered, ampersand Aij, ampersand Bij. It is showing next. First matrix was that, then second matrix was that, and finally the addition Cij is equal to Aij plus Bij, right? So this Cij plus Bij, this is quite easy now. If you want to access each and every element of A matrix, then each and every element of B matrix, and element by element we have to perform addition. Anybody has any doubt in addition of two matrices, please tell me immediately. Because this is not so difficult task. Addition is simply done on mathematical way. Now I am going to discuss multiplication of two matrices, right? That is a little bit more tricky and more important also as per your future point of view. So you can see now in my MS Word representation, this was about transpose, now matrix multiplication. Matrix multiplication is also possible with rectangular matrices. Only one condition is there. That mathematical condition we should follow. And that mathematical condition is, suppose we want to multiply two matrices, matrix A and matrix B, then those matrices are multiplicable, or you can see that they can be multiplied only if column of A is equal to rows of B, right? This rule must be known to all of you. This is the mathematical rule. There is no derivation, no deviation or in this C language. We have to follow that mathematics simply, and we have to convert it into program. Okay. So columns of A must be equal to rows of B. It should be there. I have taken here a square matrix, but it can be done for general. So in program I'll show you in general, but here as an example I'm showing this simple mathematics. So suppose this is 1 2 3 4, this is 5 6 0 7. You can see this first value is 1 2, first row is multiplied by first column of first row of first matrix is multiplied by first column of first matrix element wise. So 1 will be multiplied with 5, 2 will be multiplied with 0, and these are added up, and this will be the first element of resultant matrix. Similarly, for second element, first row is multiplied by second column, right? Then for first element of second row, so second row is multiplied by first column, then second row is multiplied by second column, and this element will be there. So this is simply mathematics. You should revise it if you have forgotten, otherwise this is only a mathematical thing. Now we have to go with our own example. Suppose this is A matrix, this is B matrix, and this is C matrix, right? So what we have to find? We have to find each and every element of C matrix. That means we have to find C00, C01, C10, C11, C20, C21. That means in general, we have to formulate it in this way that we have to find Cij actually, right? So how it can be followed, we will see it now. So now you can see here, within example you have seen this, how we can do this. So suppose C00 you want to find. So how you can do this? You can find this first row. So first row, first column will be multiplied with this element, right? Then we will take second element of first row of first matrix and multiply with, this is actually 2 cross 3, and this is also 2 cross 3. So this will be not the case. I should make it clear, or at least I should make it right. It should be multiplicable first, right? So if there is any doubt, you can ask me anytime. I am doing here one thing, that is, what is dimension of this matrix? 2 cross 3. And what is dimension of this matrix? This is also 2 cross 3, right? So I should change any one. Suppose this is, I will remove this row. Now it will be multiplicable, right? I am making it multiplicable. Now it is multiplicable. So now the size of this matrix is 2 cross 2. This is 2 cross 3. So column of A is 2, row of B is 3. 2 cross 2, and this is 2 cross, sorry, okay. I must do in a different way. Suppose this is now 3 cross 2, and it should be in this way. Right. Now it is okay. Right. So this A matrix is of which size? Right. 3 cross 2, and this is 2 cross 2. So column of A is 2 and row of B is 2. They are same. Right. So now I can do this. So first row A00 is multiplied by B00. A01 is multiplied by this. Actually it is B01. A01 is multiplied by this, sorry, B10 it should be, right? B10. So B1 and 0, right? In this way. So first row is multiplied by first column, each element individually. So this is right in this way. We have multiplied this and we have multiplied this. So A00 is multiplied by B00, A01 is multiplied by B10. Similarly, if you want to find, so first of all, we should find what will be dimension of resultant matrix. If suppose my matrix is of size A is of size 3 cross 2, right? And it is multiplied by B, that is 2 cross 2, right? Then what will be my size of my C matrix? C will be 3 cross 2, right? C will be 3 cross 2. This is again mathematics, simply mathematics. Suppose this is M cross N, this is P cross Q. So answer will be M cross Q, right? So 3 cross 2 it should be. So C00, then C1 can be calculated. How? It will be calculated by this A10. Here it will be A10 will be multiplied by, so C01 actually we are calculating. So again the same thing we will write here again, and we will change that particular representation here. It should be first row is multiplied by first column, then first row is multiplied by second column. So second column is here B01 and this is B11. Right? In this way we have to calculate. Right? Suppose we want to calculate here C10. C10 means this. So this will be found by second row is multiplied by both the columns. So second row in this way, this A10 will be multiplied by B00 first. This I should take here. So B00 plus A this. A11 will be multiplied by B10. Okay. So in this way, I can see that whenever I am going to multiply this common dimension, my common dimensions are same. What is common dimension? That was same in for mathematical calculation. What condition I have written? Column of A is equal to row of B. So you can see here A00 is multiplied by B00, A01 is multiplied by B10, right? So outer dimensions may different, but inner dimensions, that is column of A matrix and row of B matrix, are always same. That is, so in general, I can write here is Cij is equal to Cij plus Aik plus Bkj into Bkj, sorry, into Bkj. This is the formula that we have to apply. And now you can see that how we have obtained this K. K is the common dimension that was actually in the formula, right? So in this way, we have created this logic. I'll explain this program in next lecture. So meanwhile, you can go through this once more, and I'll complete this multiplication in next lecture.